She thought the back door would stay locked forever, until her husband came home, tools in hand, desire in his eyes, and a promise to fulfill her hidden longing. What started as a simple request turned into a night of deep passion, slow touches, and rediscovered love that left her breathless and begging for more. Please don't forget to subscribe and comment. And one request: please always keep a smile on your face. I still remember that rainy afternoon when everything changed. My name is Olivia Carter, and this is the story of how my husband Blake reminded me of a passion I thought we had long forgotten. It started with something as simple as a stuck door, one that hadn't been opened in years. But what it led to, I never could have imagined. Blake and I had been married for 8 years. We had our ups and downs like every couple, but lately, we'd fallen into a routine. Comfortable, predictable, sometimes even dull. He'd leave for work early, return tired, and I'd spend the day working remotely, handling chores, and maintaining a sense of order in our quiet suburban home. The intimacy, the excitement, the teasing touches in the hallway, it had all faded. Or maybe we just got lazy. Or distracted. That day, I had been cleaning the guest room, the one at the back of the house. It hadn't been used in a while, and when I tried to air it out, I realized the back door was stuck. More than stuck, it was locked, and the key had been lost years ago. That door hadn't been opened since we moved in. It led to the small private garden I had once dreamed of turning into a sanctuary. Frustrated, I stood there looking at the stubborn doorknob, wondering if there was any chance it could be opened. That's when Blake got home. I didn't even hear the front door until I felt his presence behind me. "You okay?" he asked, his voice calm and familiar. He was still in his work clothes, navy pants and a fitted white shirt rolled up at the sleeves. His tie was half loosened. Something about the way he looked at me made my breath hitch. "I was trying to open the back door," I replied, pointing behind me. "But it won't budge. Key's been lost forever, I think." He moved past me and took a look. "That thing? Haven't touched it in years." He examined the frame and handle, then gave me that charming smirk I hadn't seen in weeks. Challenge accepted. He went to the garage, came back with a set of tools. Watching him get to work with his sleeves rolled up, focused and determined, reminded me why I fell in love with him. His hands were strong, steady, capable. I sat on the edge of the bed behind him, pretending to scroll on my phone, but really I was watching him, closely. There was something raw about him in that moment, something I hadn't felt in a long time. Maybe I had forgotten how incredibly attractive my husband was when he was simply being himself. The front door creaked open a little with his adjustments. He turned to me, half laughing. "Well, I got your front room open for fresh air. That's a win." I smiled. "Thanks. But, Blake." He looked at me, eyes catching something deeper in my voice. "I really want that back door opened." He raised an eyebrow, amused. "That door hasn't opened in years, Liv." "I know. But I'd like it open tonight," I said, letting my eyes lock into his for longer than usual. There was a pause. A spark. He stared at me, reading between the lines. I saw his throat tighten as he swallowed, the air between us growing thick. Slowly, he set his tools down and walked back toward me. "You're really asking me to try?" "Yes," I whispered. The space between us shrank until I could feel the warmth radiating from him. He sat beside me on the bed. His fingers found mine. The touch sent a jolt through my arm, up my spine. It had been a long time since just holding hands felt electric. "Then I'll open it for you, Liv. But you have to trust me. It might take a little time." I nodded, my throat too tight for words. He kissed me then. Slowly. Deeply. It wasn't rushed or desperate. It was patient. Hungry, but controlled. I melted into him, my hands finding his chest, his arms wrapping around me as if he didn't want to let go. We stayed like that for minutes, tangled in each other, the rain still falling softly outside. "Let me take care of you," he said against my lips. The words made something stir in me. Desire, yes, but also safety. A deep, aching longing to feel wanted again, cherished, explored. He lifted me into his arms and laid me back gently on the guest room bed. The same room I had just cleaned now felt charged with something wild and unspoken. His hands slid over my waist, pulling me closer. I arched against him, our bodies fitting together like pieces of a puzzle we had misplaced and just rediscovered. His lips found the curve of my neck, then the sensitive place behind my ear, and I gasped, feeling his mouth and breath teasing my skin. "Blake," I murmured, fingers tangled in his hair. "I missed this." "I missed you," he whispered. "I missed you too." We shed the layers of time and routine like clothes falling to the floor. Every inch of skin he touched reminded me of the fire we used to share. When he finally reached that back door, the part of me I hadn't let anyone near for a long time, he slowed, meeting my gaze with reverence. "Are you sure?" he asked, voice husky. "Yes," I whispered, not just about the moment but about all the things I had wanted to say for months. I needed this closeness. I needed him to unlock the parts of me I had closed off. Emotionally, physically, even spiritually. He explored slowly, patiently, adjusting to every reaction, every breath. It was like learning a new language with someone you already knew how to love. He took his time, and I let him. There was no rush. There was only this rediscovery of trust, passion, and connection. And when the door finally opened, when he managed to find the key, so to speak, it was as if 1,000 emotions flooded through me. I wasn't just his wife. I was his desire, his partner, his safe space. And he was mine. We lay in each other's arms afterward, tangled in sweat and soft kisses, the rain still whispering against the window panes. I didn't want to move. I didn't want the moment to end. "You did it," I whispered. "What?" "You opened my back door." He chuckled softly. "Wasn't easy, but worth it." I smiled, resting my head against his chest. "Thank you for trying." "Always. No door in this house stays locked if you need it open." I thought about that for a while. It wasn't just about that physical door. It was about all the emotional doors we had let shut between us over the years. Blake didn't just open a back door that night. He opened something in me I didn't even know I had closed. The next morning, the sun poured into that once-ignored guest room. The air felt lighter. The garden outside looked greener, alive again. I stood by the now open door, the breeze brushing over my skin, and I felt new. Reborn. Blake came up behind me, arms slipping around my waist, pressing a kiss into the curve of my neck. "Thinking about last night?" he murmured. "Every second." "Good. Because I'm thinking we don't let any more doors stay closed." I turned to face him, hands cupping his jaw. "Then let's open them all, one by one." That day, we made breakfast together. We laughed more. We kissed longer. We touched each other in the hallway like teenagers in love. And we started fixing more than just doors in the house. We fixed us. I'll never forget what it felt like when Blake opened that back door. Not just physically, but emotionally, lovingly. It reminded me that sometimes, what seems stuck or forgotten just needs someone willing to try, and someone ready to be open again. If you liked the story, please like it and share your thoughts in the comments. Your love means a lot to me.